Hey everyone, my name is Aparna. I'm one of the co-founders of Arize AI, and I recently stopped drinking coffee, so I've started on matcha lattes instead. We're seeing a ton of people trying to deploy LLM applications. Like the last year, Demetrius, it's been super exciting. People are, and I'm not just saying, the fast-moving startups. I'm saying there's like, older companies that you're like, wow, they're deploying LLMs that have like a, skunks work team who are out there trying to deploy these LLM applications into production. And in the last year, what I think we've seen is that there's a big difference between a Twitter demo and a real LLM application that's deployed.
Preach.
And yeah, and the fact that what we're seeing is that, unlike traditional ML where people have deployed these applications, and there's a lot of people who have that kind of experience, with LLMs, it's still relatively a small group or few people who have deployed successfully these applications. And, the hardest parts about this still ends up being evaluating the outcomes. In the new era, in traditional ML, you had, one of the things that still matters is you want your application to do well. In traditional ML, you had these common metrics, right? You had classification metrics, you had regression metrics, you had your ranking metrics. In the new LLM era, you can't just put, these metrics, what I'm saying is like, we saw in the beginning, some people were doing things like Rouge and Blue Score. Oh, it's a translation task. Oh, it's a summarization task. But there's a lot more that we could do to evaluate if it's working. And the biggest one that we're seeing kind of take off is, you've probably been hearing it, is LLM as a judge. And so it's a little meta. It's where you're asking an LLM to evaluate the outcome of an LLM. And we're finding that across deployments, across what people are actually putting in production, it's one of the things that teams actually really want to get working. And I don't know, it's not that crazy as you start to think about it. Humans evaluate each other all the time. We interview each other. We grade each other's, teachers grade students' papers, and it's a very, it's not that far of a jump to think AI evaluating AI, but that's kind of this novel, new thing in the LLM space. So you don't have to wait for the ground truth necessarily. You can actually just generate an eval to figure out, was this a good outcome or not?